In the era of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Wall Street, and big tech, it is hard to fathom a more prosperous time in human history. However, many believe Mansa Musa's wealth outdoes that of all modern billionaires. Mansa Musa ruled over the Mali Empire in the 14th century, and his incredible access to gold made him arguably the richest human to have ever lived. Embracing an area more than 500,000 square miles, present-day Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Mauritania, the Kingdom of Mali was undoubtedly one of the richest and most prosperous on earth in the 14th century. Its territory touched the Atlantic Ocean to the west and extended as far as the bend in the Niger River to the east. From north to south, it embraced the entire swath of land south of the Sahara to the thick tropical forests of equatorial Africa. The kingdom was richly endowed with gold, salt, cola nuts, and ivory, which were in great demand in the markets of the Mediterranean. But, above all, it was endowed with gifted and far-sighted rulers like Mansa Musa. Mansa, meaning Sultan, King, or Emperor, is the title given to Musa Keita, the 10th king of the West African Islamic Mali Empire. He ruled Mali from 1312 to 1337. From our perspective, the important element in Mali was that it was Muslim. This fact made it an integral part of the vast Islamic world. Trade and ideas flowed freely between Mali, North Africa, Spain, Egypt, and Arabia. Muslim traders plied the desert with their caravans, carrying brasswork from Spain, brocades from Egypt, precious stones from India, and returned with gold, salt, cola nuts, and ivory. More important was the flow of ideas and scholars. Africans traveled to Mecca for Hajj and brought back books written in Baghdad, Cairo, and Cairo. Islamic jurists were in great demand in the learning centers of Sigil Masar, Timbuktu, and Gao. African soldiers were very much a part of Muslim armies in Spain, Egypt, and India. Mali was thus a part of the Islamic mosaic, contributing its wealth and its resources to the prosperity of Asia and Europe alike. As a devout Muslim, Musa spent much time fostering the growth of Islam within his empire. He wanted Mali to become the central hub of knowledge in Africa and wanted to attract as much attention to the Mali Empire as possible. Musa's ascension to the throne was, like almost everything about him, mysterious. In 1312, Mansa Abu Bakr So, who was his predecessor, abdicated the throne with the intention of sailing around the world. From there, he never came back. This was how Musa Keita, his brother, emerged as the new ruler of this wealthy empire. As a devout Muslim, Mansa Musa prepared for pilgrimage soon after he took his position from Abu Bakr II in 1312. Through Malian scholars who helped plan the Hajj, he was well prepared and knew a lot about the cities he would travel through and how to navigate his way to Mecca. His journey through Egypt caused quite a stir. Arab writers from the time said he traveled with an entourage of tens of thousands of people and dozens of camels, each carrying 136 kilograms, 300 pounds, of gold. When he arrived in Egypt, Mansa Musa camped near the pyramids for 3 days. He then sent a gift of 50,000 dinars to the Sultan of Egypt before settling in Cairo for 3 months. The Sultan lent him his palace for the summer and made sure that his entourage was treated well. Mansa Musa gave away thousands of ingots of gold, and Egyptian traders took advantage of this by charging 5 times the normal price for their goods. The value of gold in Egypt decreased as much as 25%. The gold that Mansa Musa gave away was significant to the point that the economy of Cairo was affected. Years later, as a direct consequence of that, accounts by Arab Egyptian scholars who visited Cairo 12 years after the Mansa's visit revealed natives praising Mansa Musa. Such was the effect of his generosity and spending that he flooded the markets of Cairo with gold. While Mansa Musa was devout, he was not an ascetic. His imperial power was widely respected, and he was feared throughout Africa. Ibn Battuta's accounts show that Musa expected the same traditional etiquette of reverence to be performed for him as for any other king. People who greeted him had to kneel down and scatter dust over themselves. In Cairo, Mansa Musa was greeted by his people in the traditional way. No one was allowed into the king's presence with his sandals on. Negligence was punished by death. Another custom was that the king would never give orders personally. He would pass instructions to a spokesman, who would then convey his words. He never wrote anything himself and asked his scribes to put together a book, which he then sent to the Sultan of Egypt. However, Mansa Musa had to face his own test of humility because Egyptian sultans, as was the custom, didn't receive visiting monarchs. Thus, he had to wait in Cairo until the Sultan agreed to see him. But when they did meet, the two rulers treated each other with great respect. Mansa Musa was so impressed with Cairo that he extended his stay and spent a lot of time and money there. He gave generously to the poor and provided gold to the Sultan. Before he left, he asked the Sultan for architects to help him build a grand mosque in Timbuktu, along with other buildings. He returned to Mali with several Islamic scholars, including direct descendants of the Prophet Muhammad. Mansa Musa's journey to Mecca was more than a pilgrimage. It was a mission to show the wealth, culture, and influence of Mali to the rest of the world. He succeeded, as evidenced by the fact that Mali and its king were included in a 1375 Catalan atlas of the known world. There are many tales about his wealth, but it is hard to place an accurate figure on his fortune. In modern money, it is estimated to be around $400 billion. This would make Mansa Musa richer than anyone else in history. In conclusion, while Mansa Musa's reign is best remembered for its opulence and the grandeur of his pilgrimage to Mecca, it was also a period of significant cultural and economic growth for the Mali Empire. His investments in the educational and religious institutions laid the groundwork for Mali's golden age of scholarship and architecture. Mansa Musa's legacy extends beyond his wealth. It encompasses the flourishing of Islamic culture and learning in West Africa, leaving an indelible mark on the world's history.